Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking for Bharat India on this day, October 25th, 2021, Monday. As usual, this talk is regarding quality, regarding safety, health, and environment, and of course, contracts are poured in because contract and work is related. I'm adding contracts to this. You can see this file. It's very important one. Title being Civil Field Engineering, Life, Engineers, Quality, AnnexSL, Red, Silver, SHE and Designs, and proper. Topics are construction methods, contracts, organizations, communications, coordination, and why always be all this is a question mark, which everybody has to answer. You can see these certificates, all these you can see variable like many times I've shown to you. I'll close down many now, and this is contracts requirements. I'll close down this. So quality is there. Now what's this? Quality. It's required everywhere. You can see I'm adding this contracts now in this. Contracts and products both are related. Contracts in every year it's done. Service contract, or execution contract, or work contract, sales contract, or whatever. And then products. Also, it is here. You can say no safety, no pain, no safety, no pain. Yes, no quality, no pain, no quality, only pain. Why is low quality only pain? Quality is a must and must and must. Civil engineers, okay? Then we can say contracts. Contracts must be explicitly clear, and competent with having consistencies pertinent quality issues. Contracts must be as usual. Now, so we'll now move to what we are saying here. As we discussed long before about this AnnexSL, all these clauses, you can say talking somewhere about sleepers and all that. We did discuss something on that box culvert, access platforms. These are all components of the works. Pipe supporting sleepers, access platforms, RCC box culvert, receiving basins, failed tower, pump houses. We discussed about this also. We can say discuss about all these chemical terms. Discuss about these chemical terms, and then we went down over. I am leaving this behind and going forward for real discussion, because we can't stick to something. There's something in this. I go all this now. Leaving it behind and we go further. Supporting system, supporting facilities. Let us go with this and then we continue. So base oil units. Let's do supporting facilities, right? Utility systems. नहीं नहीं 4 बज रहे हैं. Utility systems. Talking of supporting facilities means utility systems we're talking of. Utility systems comprise boiler, feed water, let us say boiler, feed water, steam and condensate systems, raw, demineralized, potable and service water systems, power generation and distribution cooling water systems, cooling water system, chilled water enclosed cooling water system, instrument and tool airs system, nitrogen system, heat transfer fluid system, aqueous ammonia system. Utility system shall be designed to allow stand-alone operation at this complex. Let me go to my page at GTL complex. So what are systems? These are only for indicative purpose. Utility system comprises of boiler feed water, steam and condensate system, boiler feed water, steam and condensate system, raw demineralized potable and surface water systems, power generation and distribution, cooling water system, cooling water system, chilled water and closed cooling water system, instrument and tool air system, nitrogen system, heat transfer fluid system, aqueous ammonia system. Utility Utility systems shall be designed to allow stand-alone operation of gas-to-liquid complex. Gas-to-liquid complex, steam and gas turbines. Steam and gas turbines shall be provided for shaft power and generation of electric power. Steam shall be generated in synthesis section, thereby effectively utilizing exothermic heat of process reactions. Steam shall be generated in synthesis section, thereby effectively utilizing exothermic heat of process reactions. Auxiliary boilers and gas turbines with heat recovery steam generators, HRSG, shall be included to facilitate black start capability to enhance reliability of steam and power system. Cooling shall be done principally by air, but cooling water may also be used where appropriate. Air cooling is preferred, but cooling water may also be used where appropriate. Steam is principal heating medium, but fired heaters, and a heat transfer fluid system shall be provided for specific applications. What are supporting facilities? Storage and offsites. Storage and offsite system comprise relief and blown down system, including flares, drainage, collection and primary treatment, effluent water treatment, sour water, stripper, flushing oil system, storage and loading facilities, including on-site product storage, slopes and intermediate storage. In general, plant condensate blended with naphtha and GTL products shall be stored on site and transported to RLC harbor for shipping. Field condensate shall be stored in what is RLC? Raslafan complex, it is RLC. Field condensate shall be stored in an on-site as well as an off-site shipping tank prior to export via RLC harbor. LPG shall be transported directly to RLC facilities for refrigeration, storage and export. Liquid sulfur shall be piped to common RLC facilities. These are just informative. Now, what is scope in feasibility check? Design and build EPC related contracts is always very different for companies. On oil projects, promoting company as defined earlier is involved at top level as owner or promoter. Scope of company related acts are entirely different since it takes policy decision on its charter of facilities promotion project. Immediately after requirements are ensured and funds would be made available either by government or by other funding institutions or from public equities in whatsoever form. As a promoting company, it has to It has a top responsibility, highest responsibility to manage, organize all sources that would be required during prior to commencement of project, during currency of designs, during currency of execution, and thereafter during defined or considered period of 30 years design life of plant facilities. A 30 years long period is considered adequate for purpose of targeting durable life of plants facilities, keeping appraised services rendered by structures, changes in technologies and other logistical and strategy factors. Company charters facility project considering considering all points with brainstorming among all state and non-state stakeholders, including banks and policy makers. Once it is decided the plant project is justified and should be put in working in a defined years period, startup sign is entered on charter. Startup sign is entered on charter and is made defining initial budget and continuous schedule funding flow declared in form of financing methodical charter. To head project from its initiation to its performance testing and commissioning. A land acquisition team is constituted by head team to conduct land requirement surveys, bathymetric surveys to delimit battery and chart out all obstructions appearing in one way within proposed surveys and all relevant details, allowing government administration process formal land acquisition and allowed to project title ownership. Once land is acquired, whole land parcel shall be required to be secured by fencing around with due legal notifications and signboards declaring it plant on land, geography and geotechnical details collection is constituted, who would submit its report to project team within a couple of either weeks or months depending on size of land parcel. A design team shall be charted out by appointing for its objective to study processing technology and work out pre-feed and feed details. Feed stands for front end engineering design. Feed details and documents all contents inclined to area geography, climate conditions and habitation such a nature that all occupants may be rehabilitated without causing any obstruction or objections from its residents. There would be imported no serious legal issue. There would be imported no there would be imported no serious legal issue which means process for rehabilitation should commence with. Within a defined limit around facility areas, habitation is not permitted due to risks related to available possible chemical adverse effects on residents' health, which precaution must be applied, and in case there appears to be some non-political or political hindrance, obstruction, project may be prorogued till obstruction is cleared. FEED document, FEED, FEED document, front-end engineering design document, shall be submitted to project team and planners for approval, and after its being authorized, FEED shall be used for purpose of inviting design bids from consultants at national as well as at international levels, who after having been awarded would work on collaboration with EPC contractor as an integrated team. You may call it virtual alliance. Feed should contain Feed should contain all requirements related to each and every disciplines of branches, service branches of engineering, including design and specifications. You can say including working designs and applicable specifications, pertinent all equipment to be included, all vessels to be included, whether stationary or vibratory, that would be included within each train permanently on conducting chemical process activities. On certain items which may be designed or may be designated long lead could be initially placed in order by project team, but initial agreement would certainly be novated, which means original contract between company and vessels manufacturer shall be transferred in all respects to a non-contract third party, which in this case being EPC contractor, to vessels procurement related contracting party in each and every respect of its design, production and performance. Once FEED is approved, design contracts are awarded. Designers immediately commence works on designs, and if so required, carried out to meet FEED requirements. Designers are required to work out designs related to respective disciplines and issue drawings with complete schematic details so that concept about proposed works be known. Designs Designs could in many cases be an integral part within EPC contract in absolute terms, in which case complete plant design is required to be affected by prime EPC contractor, while in all cases design and execution organizations constitute alliances in to carry out respective designs and executions on prime contracts part respectively, and for prime contractor accountability obligations it gives in prime contractor scope complete executive works designs, approvals, prosecution, procurement, installation of vessels and equipment, construction of all buildings and all structures, all external and internal works, all equipment, construction of buildings, all structures, all external and internal works, all services installations, all internal roads, network, etc., and all other works required to be completed from initiation to performance, testing and commissioning, and handover to company entire scope as delivered. Clause 1, though I have tried to reflect, I tried to inform something that I could do based on my collections of data as well as my own experience in field, very limited experience of course. I cannot say that I have so many years of experience in oil, very little experience in oil and very little experience in buildings. But question is level of understanding of subject, level of understanding of projects, and whatever level you can say. In engineering, it may be construction, it may be designs, it may be coordination, it may be communication, it may be whatsoever. These are all important data. But again, I would try to reflect, try to suggest to everybody that we have to give values to all these independent subjects, all these subjects which we consider are independent, but in fact, none of these can be named independent because nothing is independent in engineering world. Engineering world requires delivery of products, delivery of items, delivery of everything. Mune? So in engineering means actually delivery based on available natural materials, available technology, available processing, available information which has to be executed. Engineering is a complex process when you consider development activities. It may be buildings, it may be bridges, flyovers, it may be roads, it may be underground utilities, above ground utilities, it may be foundations, it may be heavy foundations, it may be normal structures, buildings, or whatsoever. I think in plants no field is left. Something comes from every field of engineering. Something, maybe you can say box culvert for example, pipe culvert is another example, services roads, internal roads, ordinary frame buildings, steel buildings, heavy foundations, light foundations. You may say hardly certain field is left. Field which is engineering one, and not only it amounts to civil engineering but also to equipments which come under mechanical engineering, structural erection or structural production, manufacturing, and whatever else you can say, RCC, structural steel, same way in mechanical but designs of machines, equipment, vessels, electrical, complete professional activities, electronics activities, landscape, both type, hard and soft, and environment, of course, is thorough requirement. That's what is important. We have to be very much concentrated Concentration is required. This all requirements on facilities mean something. We cannot just skip off that. if we want to produce if we want to produce certain facility which is particular one, which has certain fixed name and its fixed product for 30 or more years, depends. 30 years in development world is not small, because it's not just for residential purpose, it's for industrial purpose. It covers all risks factors, it covers all industrial factors, it covers quality production, safety production. For that purpose, if you have to spend 3 or 4 years time when you want a facility to run for 30 to or more years, well, I think it's not a big issue, because there may be hundreds components, there may be hundreds equipment and vessels, hundreds operating units, and small, big, and medium, all types of mechanical units, electrical requirements, heavy and light buildings, warehouses, administration, utilities. You name one and you find one. That's we can say this is public projects, like it's not private projects. Maybe it is privately owned or corporate owned, but it's not for companies use, it's for public use. Because these are all generally chemicals that are involved, production of chemicals or production of byproducts of those chemicals are involved. And that's what we call our development. And we have to think a lot on that, because such projects are normally EPC based nature. Price is fixed, requirements are fixed, designs are fixed, drawings are fixed, specifications are based on what we actually want to do, want to achieve. Means you can see a long list of documents, precedence of which is very significant. Long list of documents means something. If a new person in engineering reads that, maybe that person won't understand anything clearly. But we should not forget that documents have a lot meaning in contract world. Contract does not say anything if you just speak. I have given you instruction, you do not follow. That is not adequate. Once contract is done, this means something has been done. We have to understand essence of contract along with essence of quality and essence of safety. This is an only requirement to fulfill which, if I have to move contract, which means I have to move quality. If I have to move quality, this means I have to move materials, I have to move safety, I have to move environment, I have to move whatever is linked to work. Quantity, quality, safety, health, environment, and whatever else. And when we talk of plants or facilities, this means something, because this is for development, this is for economy. It's not only for residential purpose, it's for mass or heavy industrial requirement, and these requirements are very few all over the world. You cannot say that there are million plants in the world. You can't say that. There are so many million plants of ethylene. Can you ever say that? You cannot say that. Can you have so many other factories? You cannot say that. This means something is limited, and that limited is very significant, because first of all it is development component, it's a permanent component, replaceable component, say for 30 years it worked and it got second class, then you have to either retrofit this or reassemble this or do something else so that it can continue for another 15, 20, 30 or whatever years. Likewise, you can say by that time you will find many changes in technologies, many changes in sciences applications. It would happen. For example, you can say petrol, diesel have been being replaced by batteries. So technology is changing, and that's what we can say. Technology means nothing is permanent in that. Technology is based on formula, it's based on theories, it's based on tutorials, it's based on practicals, it's based on experience, it's based on observations. There are so many bases which apply onto technology, which apply onto sciences of engineering, and therefore engineering is something different. It means the same, but it depends on development of technology, and it goes on and on and on. There was a time when only stones were used in buildings. Then came artificial bricks, and then came RCC, PSC, etc. So material is same, but form has changed. Stones were original from rocks, and it took a lot of time to quarry and to procure. Brick replaced this because bricks are manufactured items. Then RCC further important than bricks. So RCC has given a different shape to whole world. So it's not environment very friendly, but very friendly or not friendly, it is not dispensable. We have to depend upon this component till today. And I don't think coming times you can run away from such component RCC or structural steel, or likewise you can say whatever development. Yes, for small projects where it doesn't matter much, you can use something else. It keeps on changing. There was a time when no doors were used, and there was time when timber doors, wooden doors came into picture. Wooden doors are available now. Wood is not available. Engineering timber is not available. So what to do? That's why then came steel framing doors, steel doors. Then came, you can say, plastic doors, aluminum doors. It's all from time to time, because after all we take everything from nature. We spoil trees, we spoil horticulture, so how can we get timber now? Then we have to shift to steel, and one day steel may also finish. Then you have to shift to something else. That's what I say. Technical meaning, technical material, technical requirements always vary. We cannot concentrate on one or another. That's forever. That's reason. That reason means when we talk of such requirements, we talk of quality system and quality. And when we talk of quality, we have to talk of contracts, and we have to talk of safety. We have to talk of you can say whatever it is linked to. When we talk of projects, we talk of resources. We talk of most important resources, human resource. Human, then material, then machines, or you can say that those resources which are imported also. So we can start. It is something we have to understand in new fashion. Though it's not new exactly, but to some extent it can be new also. When we talk of new fashion, means we talk of that understanding is new. When we join engineering, we join from one point of view, but when we enter engineering, we find another waypoint. When we join university, everybody thinks that I will become one of these discipline engineers. But that time we do not know what discipline is that. We just call branch of engineering. We can say civil engineering, mechanical, electrical. At that time we don't know what life would be. We just have a fashion in mind. Oh, person is doing engineering. And once person passes away, means it's celebration time, but real life is still untouched, except those who understand something to their family background. But engineering is different entirely. What we learn, okay, we learn theory, we learn some tutorial, we learn some practicals. But how far, to what extent? Those learnings are acceptable, but those are a must because without that we cannot do anything. A basic fundamental clearance is a necessity in engineering, and we should not forget that that doesn't work at every place. That helps. It's like counting, it's like tables, it's like something small formulas. 2 into 4 is 4. I'm sorry, 2 into 4 is 8. Likewise, you can say whatever we learn, it's only a backbone of life. But what you do in field, maybe it's design, it's construction, manufacturing, it depends on what is requirement. It depends on what level of persons do you have as employees or as consultants or as what you say leaders. You have to really understand all this. And that's only one reason I always say I stress, and that's right one, for communication and coordination and for contracts. We know without contracts we can't work. Supply contract or item delivery contract or construction contract or design contract or whatever contract. It may be item rate contract, it may be lump sum fixed price contract, it may be whatever else. Contracts is a part of life. It, even if you are a designer, you have to enter into design contract. You have to enter somewhere in service contract. You have to enter somewhere else. And that's construction contract. That may be construction, only construction contract or construction design contract, which we name EPC, engineering procurement contract, engineering procurement and construction contract, engineering procurement implement, what you call it, meaning is same. You have to construct. Ultimate requirement is, ultimate scope and is construction delivery. You have to construct and deliver, irrespective of what class of contract it is, what's meaning of your contract. That's very important point. So contract cannot be isolated from quality because it is contract only, it's construction process only that quality can be achieved from. If we can control contracts at every stage of its development, every stage, if we can understand contracts not in just articles or in clauses, information, we cannot simply say there are so many clauses and these clauses are tenable or not tenable, these clauses are right or not right. That only when you read contract draft you can know. And we cannot plainly believe in what is published. Even its FIDIC, we cannot simply say it's 100% right. Maybe it's right within certain respect to certain conditions, certain circumstances, certain issues, local issues. But in general, it's format that's important, not context of that contract. We say that we have industrialized, we have factorized, we have been working in real estate, in construction and development. Okay, that's fine. That is the destiny. That is a part of development. But what is the menu? What is the method? What is the medium? That medium is responsible for its production. In that medium, we have to clearly understand this is not electronics medium. This is not something else which we know. This is only that we know name of that all over the world. And that's called contracting. Contracting, sometimes it's understood in negative sense, it's something very bad. But I won't say that because you cannot avoid contract in your life. contract shall come to you, irrespective whether you are happy with this, but you have to, no other way. Which means that you have to move with someone else. When we say contract, this means you are not one alone. You have someone with you, and you and that someone have to walk on a track. Means you have to move together, cooperate together, achieve something together, and then depart with pleasing moment, with certain reservations of warranties. This means it is two-way. It's not you. I have steering my hand and driving. You cannot claim that alone. Do not forget that you are not driving alone. Maybe you are a driver, but another seat is also available on which somebody is sitting. That point is very significant. I'm trying to concentrate to achieve quality under safety, to achieve milestones successfully. What is basics of that? Where you can say we have to get strength from, or we have to deliver strength to. Both are important. Getting strength and delivering strength. If I am a strong person, I have potential. I can deliver something that I can measure myself. There's no other person who can measure me. How much my mind works, what's the level of my mind, what's the level of my potential of physique, what's the level of my intelligence, how much can I do successfully even if it's not recognized. Should I worry for recognition, or should I worry for output? That's another point to understand. You see, all time you cannot get recognition, and I do not go behind recognition, which is second part of life, not first part of life. First part is that I have to do something that I am expected to do, and that's what I say. You are engineer or you are not engineer. You may be other professional. I don't mind that. Everybody wants quality, but people don't understand quality. That's the problem. Some people say workmanship is quality. Some people say means there is no limit to that. Quality system is quality. Somebody says system does nothing, it's just useless. Where is real quality? Likewise, changes have come up, and provisions have been made. When you take case of ISO 9001, that is international standardization body, it keeps on changing its own meanings, because meaning should fit our world of economics, our world of residence. We cannot simply say I have this certificate and that's enough. Certificate is just an assurance that that person has qualified, not more than that. It's very important in life that engineering cannot move alone without work and without experience. Experience based knowledge is much more significant when you move it with other available knowledge. That's what I say when we talk of how shall we do, then we have only one answer, and that answer is it shall be resorted to by working on contract. And I am sure we may be engineers, we may be whatever, highest professionals, nobody shall like to be trapped by contractors. Because contract is very important term. One is professional, contractor. It's very important term if it is. But we have to keep in mind that's one part. Other part is continuous. How do we work? What is our quality system? Do we really have patience of working along with smooth speed? Can you tolerate something which others do not want? Or you have to use force indirectly to let all fall on ground? That's what I'm saying. When I talk of contracts, I should talk of communication and coordination, which are very much practically integrated parts of contract. Contract cannot be in silent mode, it cannot be in vibratory mode, it has to be in real working mode. You cannot say contract is just a formality. For me, it's not a formality. For me, it's a bonding, it's a binding, and it has to keep itself formed. That's very important item. That's the only reason that in my file I'm talking quality along with quantity, because contracts are very important, and contract first should be framed based on requirement. You cannot simply copy from some existing record and put in by changing names. That doesn't matter, because bigger project is bigger problems, smaller project is means smaller problems. These facts must be realized. If I am a designer, if I say no, this is not my job, then I don't know what's my job. Very fact. I have to know my job. And to know that job, you have to concentrate. You have to see what you are given to do. Are you capable of doing that? Or you are just a learner? And your 2-3 sentence log, I see, as you know, you may start. I have to deal with contracts, and you have to be open that in that tunnel which shall take you the delivery of contract. So this means electrical controls are linked. We have to make sure the time when our contract moves or work, electricity should always be there. System should always be there. Otherwise we cannot work. So contract says first you fine tune yourself what you want. Contract says I am very clear in my approach to read myself what's right for me or what's not right for me. Do we have a common problem of money that we can say, okay, I take it this way. Therefore, contract we have to understand. It doesn't mean that you do not understand contract, but contract in lump sum business, and particularly for plants business, where you have number 1 profile, number 4, number 3, number 2, like that mix up. I will take all this and put them on format, but it doesn't help some time because of many outcomes, many reasons. These points we have to understand very well. Only then we can say yes, we are moving somewhere. Those engineers who keep off contracts, they miss a lot, really speaking. Being an engineer or being something like that, or even if you are not engineer, you have to understand contract. If you are in law field, if you are in judiciary field, or you are in consultancy field, contract is very simple but complex document. Question is not what's level of your English or your level of writing your language. That's not a big question mark for me. I don't want to confine myself very small status. I call such people low profile, who talk of language and others while dealing with development work. Mind should be clear. Contract should be clear. Technical terms should be clear. Whatever is responsible, post concrete, that should be very clear, or else nothing can come in. Now, when I say in this para, in this annex body, when I say clause 2, yeah, It is normative references, and we can say disciplines involved, maybe civil, RCC, structural, steel, structural, PSC, security system, SCADA, firefighting system, fire suppression system, FM200, energen gas system, electrical, electronics, mechanical, HPC pumps. All disciplines, international, national codes, if these apply within national and international annexes, all descriptions related to international institutions about project engineering, all descriptions related to process technology, all applicable formula and technological specifications, vessels structures related technologies, all testing procedures, all inspection procedures, all assumptions to be made, and degree of freedom allowed able to design process. And you can say many more. Whatever is required to be done is to be done. We can't hold project for sake of something unknown. Usually we call it arbitration. Arbitration work means you have to be arbitrary engineer or arbitration engineer in that case. But I don't think you should wait for that time. Of course, arbitration may give you money, but money is another point. If you take away money also, this means you lose a lot on that. That's the reason that I'm saying references are important. But more than that is understanding of references. When we have so many, you can say, so many requirements of disciplines on site, so many procedures of different disciplines, and every discipline has to come to their own place. That's generally called ICU. We have to keep this in mind explicitly that we are going to choose materials ourselves, sources ourselves, people ourselves, and all these facts, all these factual provisions that we see through must be clear and go to clear. That's the reason I bring into something new always. That don't stick to IS 9001 only. We have to consider quality of contracts also. This point, maybe we have not analyzed that. We leave it to lawyers and judges, but I don't think that's the right way. It is something very specific. Contract is something very specific. Otherwise, why should these organizations take maybe 1 or 2 years to realize facts? Yes. If contract is taken only as a document, a guiding document, a commanding document, you can say all these decisions can go with no result. So when we talk of these terms and conditions in terms of references, as I said before, or in terms of scope of work, as I explained before, there is no further definition required. But even then, they give something. Same point arises. They do not take one day. They may take weeks or sometimes months to make submission of these actions. We have to be very careful about talking of quality because quality cannot be achieved without all branches are equal to what we say perfect. It's therefore very simple for me and for you to argue about contract. It's not argument like it's done. It's logical argument. Argument is that we have to understand certain facts. That's also very important. If you don't understand fact, only say no, this essentially do it and that's it. Explanation is very significant in engineering world. We accept everything in future. But we're talking now is something very specific. And that is how to design and how to construct. Both are significant. Design means design power. Power of design, power of contemplation, power of thinking, power of imagination, or you can say power out of power. And design means process. If intended purpose of that work is served, that was meant on designs, it can be said that is successful. Otherwise, whatever the design doesn't serve purpose, doesn't fit in, is no use, means that waste of resources spent on that. But here's something else. Maybe we make mistakes, that's right, everybody makes mistake, but mistakes should be based on information absence. I could not get this information, how can I do? And you all cannot go to YouTube or because in every 5 minutes you will find some problem. In every 10 minutes you will find some problem or problem continues to continue, analyze and understand. So what I say, we have to take quality in total perspective. Sometimes we say something has gone badly due to condonation or it being condoned or being overlooked. May say that. We are very expert in excuses, in giving reasons of our failure, that this failure is not due to me, this is due to that. That's what I'm saying. Failure is not condemned. Failure is expected. Failure is accepted. But no repetition. Failure is called teacher also. Sometimes, teacher and opposite to teacher both are there. Teachers are understood to know about subject very clearly, whatever teacher teaches. And that's true also. If I'm not getting that knowledge, what I should get, then what's the purpose of my teacher that I can't understand? I'm not here to just learn everything is in syllabus. I should have capacity to develop my mind also. I should have hungry. I should have hunger in my stomach. But I cannot sit without hot water or without food at this moment or without tea or coffee. And that's the important point. And that's the only reason that I'm trying to confer you or to debate with you what I think is right way. Or think is right way, good way. We have to, as you can say, understand. Unfortunately, understanding of contract is not 1 hour 2 hour job. It's a long-term job. Contracts are not short-term. When I'm talking of contracts, this means it's a part of quality system as well. Though it's not named quality system, but whatever systems we have to design or deliver, all these are worked. There are about 9 URLs here. They are on the same page, but in electronics world, we shall have different names. We have to clear ourselves. So always ourselves. Now, when we talk about understanding contract, it's not easy one. Even if you go through FIDIC, you go to FIDIC, or FIDIC has simplified something, but it doesn't mean you can understand everything. Once you are in field and you have field knowledge, maybe you can understand better than fresh. Because field is field, it's teacher to everybody. We cannot condemn it. Design is fast process. Designers do fast, but field can be fast track, but not fast. We can't play with lives of materials. We have to do it. When we join some field, we find new world. Those who are before experience, okay, that's fine. They must have some good knowledge and they can strengthen themselves to face something which is not proper. So I say we have to understand contract in full term. Important point is what sort of contract it is. That mind you should keep in mind, because responsibilities are always different. It can be different. There can be different types of contracts and different types of systems working. What are those contracts? How system will mold you? How shall you mold system? How shall quality work? How shall quantity work? How shall safety work? How shall contract work itself? What is this? What is what this contract is? Because contract of construction or contract something else, in fact, is very complicated from pool point of view. So many pools of document you can say, and as many documents be available, person shall have lower interest if you don't have holidays, you don't have working time. It's a difficult issue for you to keep up. The point we have to keep in mind. Now I'm talking of something, as we said, item rate contract, or we say lump sum contract, lump sum fixed price contract. These contracts are, smallest, or you can say this is the biggest one. In what sense we say? We say in sense of half an hour journey. If you fail to reach that class contract, if I'm talking of something item rate contract, then I should not worry about what is quantity, because quantity may be given in your contract, but that's also not very mandated one, that can be varied, because nobody knows facts. Nobody knows facts, but we have to support these people with facts, because it's our money, our hard work money, that goes to requirement. So when we think of lump sum fixed price contract and we see plant's requirement, it's really very wonderful that you have a big job, considerable job. You can move yourself a couple of years on that project, and there also you go sometimes with your really full. No, no chances for quality drop in lump sum fixed price contract is very significant. Let's see now clause 3. I'll come back to that one. It says who are roles there, who are powerful there. So you can say I'm talking this item on behalf of contractor, EPC or otherwise, and these are very important points. Here we say control references. These are terms and definitions, which includes detailed terms and definitions applicable to particular specific standard in in addition to format related terms and conditions. We say authorities, state, ministry, plans, these are something always there as form of, as some responsibility somewhere, some nowhere. Statutes, laws, acts, national level, international level are applicable, whatever. We also can say project description, its leadership and its management, organizational role, people. Also we say project description, project requirements, technical and managerial, or you can say technical and otherwise, whatever you can say. Project capacity in long run and short run in terms of production and performance. Project organization in different stages with project management in different stages from inception to its operations and maintenance. Contracts management applicable for designs and execution. Prime contractor and its relationship with company. Likewise, you can say contractor and its relation with company and prime contractor. Nominated contractors and execution contractors. Vessels manufacturing vendors. Site prosecution and security. Maintaining site tidy as us. You know, site protection and security. Of course, maintaining site tidiness, maintaining site traffic controls, maintaining site all other controls, contract between company and prime contractor on specifically designed contract conditions. Degree of extension of FIDIC, Red Book or other book to contract. Whether or not new engineering contract that is represented by NEC abbreviation, as case be for your national standard contract applicable. Contract documents related to prime contract, levies on contract, whatever we can say, defective work, not defective performance. All these are well defined, but is that definition? Yes. What I can define more than that? And when professional mind is clear, your mind should also be clear while you are cooking. You not rush jump somewhere. So many points are there, more and more points are there. Why are we discussing these points? Because these points are significant. These points are very important. These are points, or we can say requirements. When we move on contract, we have to move on these terrain of points. It's not simply we just say a shackle. No, it's not shackle. It is clear meaning from mind. Every mind should tell you what's right, what's wrong. Then we can say levies of penalties during failure in life cycle of plants, facility program or performance program which could lead to shutdown of project process partly or fully. Legal liabilities between company and prime contractor in case of plant leading to leading to fatalities and heavy losses. International arbitration for disputes resolution for all disciplines, raised in short terms as well as in long term, whatever term. Then we have to see if there are some problems, there are some disputes which have corrupted in, which have accumulated on contract due to whatever reason. This is also no question of amity. Contractor and owner not enemies to each other. They are cooperative personnel. So if they discover something has gone wrong, we fail to notice and we can't expect that contractor remember this. Shall I remember that? My question is that. You can't remember everything in life, but you can analyze what's given to you. That's what I say. Liabilities are very important. Again, I can say liability, that's legal one, legal liabilities between company and prime contractor in case of plant's life, plant's fire, leading to fatalities and heavy losses. International arbitration, international arbitration for disputes resolution for all disciplines related, raised in short terms as well as in long term basis. I had to take care of that. Company honors personnel, ingenious personnel, we can say personnel for on behalf of everyone. That's also a very important point. And say all contracts including subcontractor, because everybody working on site or project is owner's personal impact, because owner has employed them, has required them to work on the project. Of course, salaries to be paid, remunerations are to be paid, that's different. What I'm saying is you have some responsibility for home, for family. You cannot defy what you do. Then we can come down to workforce requirements. Workforce requirements, then daily progress report, memorandums to prime contractor, technical clarifications required, engineering clarifications, contractual clarification, and workers clarification. Nominated subcontractors or nominated contractors can say. Of course, site instructions, engineer's instructions, then engineer instruction, request for inspection, request for inspection. Then we can say non-compliance reports, or because based on reports, based on request for inspections and non-compliance reports, material approval request. Then you can say drawing approval request, subcontractors approval request. Likewise, these are same as we did in red book case. You can then shop contract, subcontractors, approval request, temporary works, preparatory works, permanent works, construction method statements, and very many more. You can say parts of contract documents, like standard working drawings and designs, and of course quality management statements, including checklist and ITPs and article. Then we can say after temporary, preparatory and permanent works, construction method statements, very essential, the standard working drawing, training, upkeep and surveillance, fire prevention and suppression, administration matters related to project camping, where all management staff, organization staff, working personnel would say, stay during project construction lifestyle. It's easy to say. It's easy to say, but it's not easy to. Yes, we've gone through these references. We have supporting references as well. The point of view is in entirety what we understand about contract. Until we understand contract in clear terms, until we understand contract in clear terms, we cannot do justice to ourselves. We cannot take care. If I don't understand contract, I cannot take care of project, because at every step something is required. Some documentation is required, some work is required, some record is required, which is not possible on a morning or in joint set. But there may be less pauses at the time. Maybe those people are stayed. They still have so many requirements are here, we can't understand, we can't really. Some people may have gone through that, but say, what's this? I don't understand the meaning of that. And this comes to then something is not possible. So what do we understand by contract? Can you tell me? This is very important point. It is simple to answer, but it is not simple in doing. Answer is very simple. We can say, you know that, no need explaining. There are two parties, one party and the party, and that's it. We work together for some system, for some requirement, and meeting such requirement. Staff significance. You cannot simply jump on to say, no, it's done. Everybody say, I've been doing according to specification. So are you responsible for So I say, whatever we depend on, we must have clear understanding of what we are going to do. And if we don't do that, certainly will suffer. Badly will suffer. We cannot say, I'm clear of this contract. We should not be worried about number of pages contract has got. Sometimes these are repetitions, and sometimes these are best requirements. It's not important always to be very sticky, but understanding clauses are available in every contract. Execution statement is also filed in. We have standard size, we have standard material, and allow us that. What is understood as clear? For example, we have to do construction of some building. Then whoever is involved in that building, that person has to propose something to do on that. Safety. When we start something new, we have to contemplate on that. And if you are a fresh one, you have to learn a lot. If you think that you can be directly head of this project, then you are in wrong boat. You have to learn. And even learning is not enough. You have to understand that. Logics for everything. Why I am doing that? Is there some other way also? Why I am doing that? Is there some other way also on this? That point is very significant here. Alternative. See, alternative is very important terminology. Contract requirement, but I want to give contract fulfillment requirement more than what's required. If that can be a case, if that can happen, you shall get best product, because you are giving something as, like I can say, additive. Quality and contracts. Quality is a part of contract indeed, yet I want to talk it integrity. I want to talk quality, cost and time. These are very important. Even if I increase level of months, I won't be finding any satisfaction at all. Because my satisfaction is hungry. I am hungry of knowledge. And knowledge that can come only from field or desert is faster to travel. Once you understand theme of contract, essence of contract, you see, nobody sits on each clause word by word until there is a problem. Nobody can sit on that. No one. Because you have to think of many activities. Your all associates shall think of their activities. But you can say it's a start. It's a start, and there shall be closer also. Start is very significant, and closer also is very significant. When we start something with scope of work, then go to references, followed by application, by startup, by something that cannot go otherwise. We have to start up with surveys, land surveys, bathymetric surveys. We have to define battery limits, demarcations. We have to define excavation of all sorts, all types. Is bad or good? Excavation is excavation. We cannot condemn it. Then we can say excavation, and then of course we can say excavation in all strata. Then we have to during itself. Before excavation, we have to test soil testing. This is also very significant activity. Not only soil testing, but also if required, soil improvement. You can say enhancing properties of soil on which we want to site our foundations of whatever building structures, or even we can say where it applies. Then follow up is there, further activities are there. Generally we call blinding, then concrete protection or soil protection, concrete soil protection, which also called waterproofing, and that waterproofing works below ground as well as above ground. Then we have to talk of concrete also, what sort of concrete it is, what's class of concrete, what's grade of concrete, and what are components or component parts of concrete, constituents in that, ingredients in that. And then we, of course, we come to preparation, and that's called have preparatory measures and take precautionary measures to, you can say, use this. Reinforcement, its fabrications, placement, and if it, I say precast concrete, precast material, and what is our precast freestretch concrete class or concrete class, what composition of this concrete class, we must have been tested before use. Practical testing, talking. I'm not saying that is elective, but this is also good. What's wrong with that? Also we say concrete glass, reinforcement grade, structural steel, soil backfill, piping all types, concrete block walls, roofing all involved types, plastering, rendering, flooring all types, including raised floor we call it, glass doors, windows, ironmongery, kitchens, including messes, wet areas, finishing all types, special items, depending on requirements, performance, testing and commissioning, design estimated quantities, issued for information drawings, design drawings, if it is relevant, not necessarily on plants, but if it's relevant, I can say we're talking about things. Generally on plants areas, buildings, permit would not be required, issued for construction drawings, revised designs when equipment is finally decided. Can say giving complete technical details, of course, and followed by step is of course we can say there are construction drawings, there are revised drawings when equipment is finally decided, giving complete technical details, national annexes and nationally determined parameters, then published documents, nationally and you can say nationally agreed, you may say national annexes. If overall annexes are not available, the nationally determined parameters according to IEU, Europe, Europe's published documents and all other. I'm not just saying what I'm saying is right. No, it's my contention. It's my contention. Your contention can be different. Singles are down. Your contention can be different, of course, but it should be admissible. It should work. It should work. We are talking of something that we have to learn from it, and you have to teach also. Learn from how it works, and then train it accordingly how to use it. Training. Some people are born for copying and just for doing something their way. It happens. When you talk of such a big contract, you are also beyond control because you can think only for that. When I am given a contract to study, it's really a challenging job. I'm not saying that I should start immediately. Simply, your judgment is to be exercised. Say one. My judgment has gone down. Gone are days when deceptions was accepted. Now clarity is a must. I shall not do anything unless it's clear to me. My principle is that. Because clearance must be clear. It should be given to you in free mind, free flow, free to do. Only then I can serve. How can I serve otherwise? And if I don't serve in construction, who shall serve? Administrator? Or engineer? Engineer. Essence is very important. Again, I'm stressing what we have to do. That's important, not English language. Don't worry about law. Don't worry about anything. Think clearly what you have to do. I'm not about law here. I'm not going to produce some doctor report. It's not my ambition. But even then, if I'm trapped, I have to come out. If I'm trapped, when I say I, it doesn't in terms of annex. Format is fine. It gives complementary information. Still, we have to think of in various terms what we are going to do. Contract is much easy as well as much difficult. Sometimes language of contract looks very easy, and sometimes it looks very complicated. Well, I should say best practice is that there should be no complication. It should be very, very straightforward, issue oriented, meaningful, and not necessarily I'm not going to compete with English language here. Why waste time in that if you can directly apply this? Some people say something, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you understand clearly what is specification, what's the problem to you? Tell me. If you understand drawings clearly, if you have gone through cross drawings, you are not in a position to final anything, then you can say, you can see our projection, my mind projection on contract should be very, very clear. I am stressing too much on today, you may say. Yes, but that's required. You have to achieve quality. How? You are not going to define quality. It's already defined. You have to implement that. You have to execute that. That's only job you are having. Sometimes we blame someone rather than blaming oneself. Blaming oneself is better than blaming someone else. But before that you have to read. Not only read but also analyze and study. That should happen freely. It should happen. But sometimes it doesn't work due to various reasons. Reasons being that engineers run away from contracts, particularly young people who, I cannot say that they cannot understand contract, but inclination is different. You can say inclination is different. More interested people in designs, they don't care for contracts. They don't care for specifications either. The specification is very much part of contract. The specification is very much attributed to work. Some people only understand I'm a designer. I don't need this. I least bother about this. We should not forget. I always give example of our body. Our body, which is a unit of survival, of humanity. Or not only of humanity but all of the creatures, our body. Body is such an example that gives totality, perfection in totality. There is no alternative to body. You cannot define that if you don't have this system perfectly running, you replace it with another system. Can't you? Our body is having many parts, and these parts are all connected. If one part is impacted, we feel uneasy, and uneasy, Yahoo, you may say merchantless. or begin its source. Contract life is actually very interesting if we go positive with contract. Once we start learning or self learning contract, I don't think that you need someone else. You require someone else to guide you if you know how work moves on. How work moves on and how this structure performs. Structures are main points here. Structures are main points which you have to produce on sites. These are main elements. If these are given quality input, quality impetus, well, I think that's best way. It is very easy to do good job. It's very easy to do job efficiently, progressively, expeditedly. It is very good. But problem comes in when you are not well informed, no equipment, nothing is equipped with you, yet you want to say my connections, force connections, connections. We have to keep these points in mind. What is ultimately required is work done. Purpose of contract is work is done, that's it. Very simple objective is work is done. There may be one work or there may be 1,000,000 works. All are required to be carried out and carried out according to detailed requirement, according to design requirement, according to prosecution requirement, or according to whatever else requirement. You have to prove it. You have to prove it. And when proof is not accepted, when we cannot work, we fail due to whatever reason. We means miss something. We either overlook some detail or just in ignorance we did it. That causes problem. That causes problem in short run or long run, both. So we take it to that way. When I say my quality issue is related to contract issue, contract claims it is quality contract. Yes, it is quality contract. It should give you quality, but who has to take quality? That person has to be quality oriented. Some say, oh, I start morning until evening, then where can I stand at quality? Where can I understand quality? And that person say, quality, IPA, IPQ or IPA. Those points you have to understand very well. Life, every day come and go. Work done to requirement brings happiness to everybody. Happiness of what? Not happiness in personal life. Of course, you get happiness. But happiness that Happiness that your work delivered quality. Your work delivered something excellently. I was in rain somewhere in Covid also. People are coming to that business center for us. What is work? Concrete is work, block work is work, form work is work, and you can say steel fixing and placing is work. Backfilling is work, excavation is work, cabling is work. When we talk of everything as work, curing is work for me. Curing is also work. Day and night working is also work. If I take holiday, there will not be work, but when it is Sunday. Life is very complicated from modern viewpoint. Life was simple and good. Now life has itself many problems, personal, private, corporate. We have air travel. When do we understand all this? Well, I think construction become very easy. It's ultimately work that we have to do. And when you start EPC in some format, you can say many activities are clear. You know, already there's something available on my behalf on that project and on project behalf with me. Information about designs, information of construction, and what I can give you to fulfill that. All are available. And if not available, we have to make it available. That's our responsibility. Like, just like we say, we have to do this. Yes, we have to do this. We do that also, according to designs, according to specification. At that time, we are not able to solve that as such. But it says, it's right. No strength we're talking of. We should get the strength of what we apply for. And if we get a strength, I think quality is achieved. It's not a strength at that time, with strength should move longer. Whatever work we do, whatever work in engineering, construction, based on designs, based on procedures, based on statements, based on specifications, and based on whatever codes are in line. If I'm satisfied with those results, it's an important point. More very important point. That's the reason I'm saying coordination and communication on projects. That is on works. Actually, it is on works. It's not only projects, works. If I say coordination is good, means I am alive, my mind is alive, I'm not sleeping. I have to work as coordinator, I have to work as site engineer, I have to work as project engineer, I have to work as a quality engineer, I have to work as safety engineer, I have to work as every of engineers. Though may be different, but they work for project. And since I deal with this project, there are many other responsibilities of that. That's the reason I say our title is very clear: construction method, contracts, organ isolation, communication, coordination. These are very clear items, and we have a charter for that. And that charter is very significant. You can read tag in this case of EPC. And what is that? Let's say scope has already been covered. It has covered major part which project charter would contain. It says understanding organization and its context. Just like we have to understand contract, we have to understand specifications, we have to understand total work, we have to understand organization also. Maybe not from that point of view, but from different point of view. Understanding organization and its context, understanding needs and expectations of partners, and of course extending this. We can say understanding needs and expectation of parties, determining scope of management system, organization system. Then we have management system. We have certain other points to consider, and those are why we are there, our organization, why they are working there. Also, they should get on very. Then we can say points for consideration are, organization is there for what? For project, for development. What are issues, internal issues or external issues that can impact intended outcome, and which are interested parties and what are their requirements. We have to define total scope in details and set boundaries of system. We have to raise employees' awareness and involvement. These are context only. We can see that in just for reading itself. We can say scope has already covered major part which project charter would contain. Scope is generally there, maybe in different meaning, but meaning is same. Then this charter is a leadership, you can say. What is that charter? It's a leader who has no head, but who has information. You can call it leader or lead document. Most lead document, top document, you can say, for us, maybe not for client. for our own pursuit, for our own understanding. Scope has already covered major part, which project charter would contain. Document. This charter is a leader, have leadership character, an organized document to decide policy, legislate ways to chart out project execution and delivery to public at large. Also you can say it's a way, it's a legislative way or legislate way to chart out project execution and delivery to public or state. A project leader placed in company, wearing presents means engineer should be there actually. Company, you can say project head placed in company management is engineer for this facility in all contractual respects, so maybe that person not designated engineer. If it is designated, there's no harm, it's good, but that engineer is involved in EPC representative title. EPC representative title that is involved. So we can say engineer is there in different terminology. This project charter acts as a master professional document for prosecution and execution of project or scheme or job. You can say during post-award and thereafter, since it contains complete details including provided budget for implementation. Points raised by each member of the team during brainstorming session and all other we have to move step by step. Points raised by each member during brainstorming session and all other analytical sessions are duly recorded, must be recorded as minute whatever it is. We can also say this organization is a statutory constituted body by state or by nation or otherwise. It's not a statutory body. It's not necessary. Or this organization is commercially registered under statute and authority of a national chamber of commerce. No, or this organization is commercially registered under statute and authority of National Chamber of Commerce or under Companies Registration Act. Of course, this is a leading organization in plants and facilities, promotions in general, and having adequate experience in relevant disciplines, including all allied services expertise. And of course, we can see list of our projects, our quality audit and value added deliveries or delivered projects, which is enclosed, of course. Competent professionals in all required engineering disciplines. Strength, international. Of course, we can give strength. It's not big deal. We don't hire international professional engineers, chartered engineers, other degree with supporting engineering strength of these numbers, engineers, providing supporting dedicated teams of plans instance. Then we have to count on this, in fact, from both requirements, real requirements. It's also essential sometimes that I would go and see what to do, not to do, because it's not simple talk we are doing. It's something reasonable and signals again 0 0, maybe it's down. Every day it happens. Already discussed 2 hours. Maybe it falls. I don't know. When I come back, I'll see what happens. How it can work. How does it work? I look into that and come back. So gentle people, my friends, sorry, little late. What can I do? Some problem. I was talking about EPC and contracts. We have to define ourselves in that regard. Each and every time. We can say that we have consistent and competent team of competent professionals of all ranks that we already said. These ranks may be all certified ranks like professional engineers at international level, national level, chartered engineers, and all supporting engineering strength we have, what is required for this project. It's not appreciation of company but scrutiny of company. First the scrutiny lies with company itself. As a contractor, suppose I am a contractor, I am a company appointed contractor. Before appointment, it's my duty to check myself. As a contractor, I have to make sure whether or not I am a competent body, competent person to do this job, because just taking a job is not adequate. I'm not happy if I take a job and I cannot do that job. Yes, you can celebrate only when you are pretty sure, you are perfectly sure that you have competency to do this work. If you don't have any competency, certainly you will suffer. This project of development, it's not non-professional, it is more than professional. Profession is only job, but when you say project is professional, its contract should also be of that level. It's not, very small level contractor. It's a contractor view. Many professionals would associate with it. Many designers, many perfect engineers, many leaders, professional leaders, vendors, etc., and thousands workers in varying technologies shall associate with it. That point we cannot ignore. As much responsibility and much our responsibility, if higher scope means higher responsibility, higher contract means higher responsibility, and contract here is not simply its commitment. Contract means it is agreement to commit, agreement to deliver, agreement to do perfect job, agreement to do value addition, agreement to do specification compliance, quality compliance, safety compliance, and in fact every for contract, particularly for that responsible job. It's a question of responsibility, it's a question of liability, it's a question of reputation. If I'm not competent for something, I cannot apply for that. And if I apply, I will be certainly rejected because I may not be able to answer or fit into that requirement. And I can fit in only when I have capacity to do so. And that's reason that, what reason is there? When you are shortlisted somewhere as a bidder, or you apply for some bid, you have to give technical submission. You have to submit commercial as well as technical submission, or you may say technical document. No, you can't call it document, it's submission, it's technical bid. In fact, it's the public commercial and technical bid, Both are separate, probably can be submitted sometimes, but are separate, and technical bid weighs much more than commercial bid at that time, because commercial is something part if I say no. See, what do you mean by that actually? Right, we understand right in life. But we also know that right is never independent. Right is always linked to responsibilities, to duties, to obligations. Professional, are you able to do that job? If you can answer yes, it's within my capacity, within my competency, and I have worked as such. Yes, I am able to do this job. And of course, maybe you are interviewed, you may be asked any questions, and you have to respond to them successfully. Now, it's your own decision. Nobody will impose on you. And if you are saying, yes, I can do this, because here, question is commitment. You have to do this. It's a kind of, self contract. I and they try to modify their real CV to that requirement. And I've seen these candidates sometimes having different kinds of CVs for that requirement. I think that's not right way. And if you think you're not suitable for that, you're not right match in comparison to requirement, how can you go for that? That's the point. But people do it. That's not right way. People do it and that's not right way because it goes nowhere. Not right. You should not do that. You should not attempt that. See, people say life is a struggle. People certifications. If you have to fake everything, what's meaning of these certifications? You tell me. What's meaning of these competencies? These competencies, what's meaning of requirements? What's meaning of all this engineering? And that's my question to everyone. I know some people do that, not all. Job hungry would do that. But it won't survive in long run. It won't survive. I have even witnessed instances along my by error or by trust that they'll be able to do job. But many cases I have seen, though it's not right time to just refer to them, but what I'm trying to refer is fake CVs, fake statements are caught always. Fake is fake. Fabrication is fabrication. It doesn't help you. Maybe in short term, for entry level, it may help. But it is professional work. It is engineering, it is technology, which keeps on changing and changing and changing. You know that. Never allow to question someone else. What does it mean? Speak anything. Criticize anyone, someone. Speak and speak and speak and speak so that you are only speaker. Either others ignore you or others don't listen to you. That could be a stage which is very dangerous because you know it is engineering. Here, performance speaks, no political speeches, no long talks, and even if you are a narrator, if you have to speak, you have to speak. Think less, no. Think fully, yes. You have to speak in a prepared way. In a way, either you have spoken before or you are well prepared to speak out and face volley of questions from each and every corner. But I understand if you are experienced professional, your mind is so full of experience, your mind is full of so much information that you can go on thinking and speaking as well as writing. Thinking, speaking, writing, this is a chain, this is a sequence. Of course, there is a difference in speed. Writing speed is not that fast if you compare it to speaking, and speaking speech is not that fast if you compare it to thinking. So, important point is resource of thinking. I consider it as a resource, source rather. First of all, thinking does not need any desk, it does not need any room, it's already having room. Your mind, your brain. Thinking does not need any switch on, any electric power. Your food is enough for its energy. Your breathing system should work properly. And you should not feel stress. Those feel stress, they are not good people. Why stress? To my understanding, to my acceptance, thinking itself is stress removal activity. Thinking itself is cleaner, mind cleaner, dirt cleaner activity. People think and they do a lot. Sometimes thinking, if you have made mistake, you shall correct. It cannot be, it cannot be, you know, taken for granted. It cannot be because it's power. It's power to achieve everything. And if you can hold this, it's like a bank. You know, it works as a bank, information bank for everyone. Because some things in the mind you're withdrawing from there, but it again goes back after giving information. You can't take out permanently, rather you will augment that. And what we are looking for? We are looking for solutions. We look for solutions, and that is beauty of professional thinking. I call it thinking based contemplation must be achieved. And we call it also engineering. All these are converted to applications. That is important. And we do all this for all requirements. And we do all this for all requirements. Not sure about thinking, but we think. We think in every step of engineering. On your decisions. Otherwise, there is no need of signing those pages. And engineering means quality application. Engineering itself quality. If somebody asks me define quality, I would say understand engineering. And somebody would understand engineering, can you define engineering? I would say understand quality. Because both are linked together perfectly, fixed properly, not even partly. It is engineering that is called use and application of mind. Engineering means mind, use of mind, because its article meaning is genius person. In integral calculus. So I'm talking of integration here, quality, safety, health, environment, and quality, safety, health, environment, and contracts, which means engineering primarily. These are prime points of engineering, that quality, safety, contracts, time, cost, all must move together to prove that work is done. Work is done and is done to requirements. Life is very short, but engineering life is further very short. So what I say about AnnexSL and EPC perfectly because contracts, you can say contract is a medium through which we agree together to do some job in some fashion that is given on contract documents for certain consideration that is given on offer. Contractors or bidders offer. There should be no confusion. Resolution. That is very significant part of contracts. Dispute resolution, though it's not exactly integrated part of contract, but part of contract. As extended part of contract, you may call it, or separate part of contract. That mechanism which we can evolve is dispute resolution. Disputes are expected, disputes were expected and should be expected. But you can take average of all those, and we have to think of project deliveries, We have to think of development rather than disputes. Disputes are very minor sometimes. If contract is based on honesty, without keeping in mind certain black point, I mean to certain integrity dispute, integrity differentiation, we keep clear mind. Now we are interested in this milestone. We have interest in achieving this project. We have to achieve this project delivery. If we have that factor in mind, there can be no way that we shall do something against that project. Contracts are very clear. I'd say contract clauses understanding cannot be done by advocates, cannot be done by judges. Meaning of contract, meaning of condition, meaning of what is to be done are all linked. We are not interested in punctuation of language. We are not interested in some other statute there. Someone, we are all intellectuals, maybe contractors are intelligent, we are educated, honest, sincere people. And if we are honest, honest means and we used to call them before also in past force majeure. Those disputes are different nature. There can be disputes by contractor on suspension of project. There can be disputes of something else. Those are not intentional disputes. I'm talking of something which you keep in mind as a contractor or as owner to play with each other. That goes neither in interest of owner nor in interest of contractor and not in interest of project. Contractor calculates that it's not going to get this. There can be many reasons for that. Unknown items, unknown prices, or you can say workers not giving efficiency, loss. They took quotations from others. Those people do not cooperate, whatever reason being. After all, those people are not that high caliber who know commitment. They are street vendors, can say, very, very small shop owners who enter into world of small trading, small manufacturing, not like developed company, developed organization, established organization, or you can say whatever reasons can be there, whatever reasons. You are losing something out of your profit, but you are used for profit. more than expectation, and then you think you can manage. And that's the point where problem starts. You expected 10% profit, 8% profit, and you have calculated that it's not going to work. Everybody remains under force, under pressure. Oh no, we have to submit this offer. We have to close this bid on this date. And that's where, problem lies in. Sometimes there's extension, and extension means delay. There was concentration going on for closing bid, and you got some message that this closing date has been extended. So what happens? You keep aside that bid, you try some other bid which is to go, and everything goes out of mind there. Maybe I'm just giving my my reading. It doesn't work better, but it happens. Somebody did not care. And if you raise your price, you're not going to, you're sure that you're not going to get that job. So you can't raise your price also. You can prove technical documents. You can you can give very good technical submission, excellently well done. You have submitted your credentials. How you are going to execute this work? You have given your histograms of human resources. You have included histograms of equipment use. Means you have given, you have fulfilled every requirement that has to deal with this. And that requirement is enough. And that may be overloaded, possibly. You did not analyze. And then technical bid, whatever you submit and whatever they call for explanation sometimes, maybe through some meeting on individual basis, one by one. First you come, and then you come. Likewise, particularly for major projects, because every engineer wants a success. Every owner wants a success. That my project should not be delayed. It should work perfectly right. I I can't afford delays. It's also one requirement. that way we can reach that stage. Means I am affected as a contractor because I am going to lose my profit. Well, that cannot be a criteria that you lose quality. It is business. Sometimes you get, sometimes, and there's also chance that you get more profit. In that case, what to do? So don't worry about that. It's business. Technical submission is stronger. Right? And that is professional contractors. Contracting is a profession. It's an expertise. It's use of design. It's also called designing. If you are EPC, you have to design. You have to design, you have to satisfy others. You have to satisfy those who are better designers than your designers. You have to satisfy contract conditions. You have to satisfy quality. You have to satisfy safety. You have to satisfy environment. You have to satisfy international laws, national laws. You have to satisfy workers. You have to satisfy vendors. You have to satisfy everybody, and at the end, you have to satisfy yourself. You have to take care of all resources. Tell me where is the point that you are not a professional, what professional does, what an engineer does. So it is engineering, it is construction engineering, it's contracting engineering, just like this arbitration engineering, this quality engineering, this planning engineering, there is SHE engineering. Means these are extensions of civil engineering. So we should be very clear about this point, what we are doing, whom we are doing with. These points are really significant from my understanding point of view. I would not say something for construction. You have to find best ways of doing something, right? You have to find best material that fits into your requirement. You have to find best people. Is a lacking one. Fall of video and audio signals. Maybe it's going to close now. I just wanted to take 1 or 2 minutes on this. What files I put in there always got some meaning. Professional meaning and also practical meaning. Maybe you feel that video is too long, 3 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours. Well, sometimes when you are it's also a point of concern when you start something. You can't stop in midway, and when you do video, you can't pause it. Even if you record it and upload, but during live, there is no way. Because of singles, I break my video. Because singles break video, and still you see, it's a problem. 100 times I see this problem during 3 hours talk. Well, the problem, what to do? Life is like that. There's no way out. We have to bear with this. We have to bear with this, and I'm bearing with this. But I would simply say, don't worry about length of video, but worry about how to achieve quality. I asked these questions with many top people. Unfortunately, I could not get any reliable reply from them. That must be asked. I don't want to lengthen this video. Already time is Monday and around 7, and it's more than 3 hours because I missed also maybe 3 minutes, so I just want to compensate that to keep this video 3 hours. So well, I would say I'll take leave now. Better, of course, just repeating what it was, and I thank I thank everyone for your kind cooperation, if you can say. Yes, it is. And then I'll take it off here now. That's what limitations are around. I wish you be happy with those or sweat with this. I can't say that. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'll see you again. Okay.